From her first book, The Tale of Peter Rabbit, Beatrix Potter went on to create a series of stories and lovable characters that have charmed and enchanted children for generations. And now she continues to do so, 73 years after her death. This month, Penguin Random House published a rediscovered Potter story entitled The Tale of Kitty in Boots. The manuscript was found in 2013 by Jo Hanks, publisher for Penguin Random House books. She joins me now from London. Good morning. Welcome to our program.
Hi, thanks for having me.
How did you come across this manuscript? What a treasure.
It really is. Well, it was a couple years ago. I was working with Emma Thompson on another series called The Further Tales of Peter Rabbit, and we have an archive here at work. I'd never really spent time looking in the archive. I wanted to discover more about Beatrix Potter and the world she was living in when she was writing her tales. And I went into the archive and stumbled across an out-of-print collection of her writings. And I was thumbing through it and then came across mention of The Tale of Kitty in Boots, which is the first time I'd ever heard of this tale. I knew nothing about it, and as I read on, I realized that this was, a full story that Potter had written in her lifetime, and it was just never published. So it was pretty phenomenal, I would say.
It's so exciting. So what are your thoughts on Kitty in Boots? What's the story about?
It's about a very naughty cat. She goes out hunting at night, unbeknownst to her owner. Her owner thinks she's this perfect lap cat and she's very well behaved. She absolutely isn't. She gets into all sorts of trouble. And along the way, she meets some fabulous characters, some of Potter's beloved characters. So Miss Tiggy Winkle makes an appearance, as does Mr. Todd, and even Peter Rabbit.
So it's keeping in line with other Potter works. Now, why do you think this story was not published during her lifetime?
Well, Potter, she was becoming increasingly interested in farming as she grew older. She was able to buy large amounts of land with the royalties that she made from her tales. And I think that was really taking up a lot of her time. In addition, she got married. And she really wanted to spend more time with her husband living in the Lake District. And she sort of became less interested, I think, in writing stories because her eyesight had started to fail, so she couldn't illustrate in the same way that she used to. So I think for those reasons, she sort of wrote it and then set it to one side and never went back to it.
So with a new Beatrix Potter story being released, do you think that this will introduce her to a whole new generation of children?
Yes, no, absolutely. I really hope so, because the illustrations have been created by Quentin Blake, and I think they're just superb. And I'm sure many children will be aware of Quentin already from his other writings, and also because he illustrates the Roald Dahl books. So I think certainly his illustrations, I think, will appeal to children. The story is absolutely brilliant. It's, very Potter-like. There's great characters. It's fun. You kind of kept on the edge of your seat because Kitty manages to get herself into all sorts of scrapes, and, you're always wondering if she's going to be able to get herself out. So I think children of today will really enjoy it. It's just a really good book.
What a lovely story. Jo Hanks, publisher for Penguin Random House Children's Books. Thank you so much.
Thank you, too.